Hello and welcome to Much Mondays. Today's topic is going to be the Rise of Skywalker. Yes, we have to do this. Uh, so I know that the internet has all kinds of opinions on this movie. I don't necessarily want to go down that whole road and talk about like every possible thing you could talk about with it. I want to focus specifically on some things that I feel might have been cut from it. Now, we know for sure that there were things left on the cutting room floor. The editor of the film herself has said that there was, I think, more backstory on how Palpatine came back to life that they cut out of it because they thought it was off topic, which is bizarre to me to hear, considering that's sort of the whole point of the movie. But that aside, I think the ending of the movie has something that is just missing from it. So this is going to be like a really sort of nerd out on some lore and backstory stuff in the Star Wars universe. Maybe you disagree on this take of what could have happened. Maybe you think this idea is dumb. That's fine. It didn't end up in the movie, so that's fine if you don't like it. But I think that the movie hints at what I'm about to talk about and gets right up to the line and then doesn't execute on it to the point that I wonder if it was in a draft, if it was shot, and then at some point was cut because there's too much going on. So, at the end of the movie, when you're starting to find out what the Emperor's plan is, I don't know if I could explain to you what his plan is right now. It didn't really track for me. Let me know down in the comments if you actually knew what his plan is in the movie, as stated. I kind of got the impression that they were about to confirm a couple fan theories. The big one being the idea that Anakin was created by the Force, was either created by Palpatine himself or by Palpatine's master, Darth Plagueis. And that's something that has been heavily hinted at going back to the prequel trilogy, that Anakin was created by the Force, but we never really get an answer as to why that might be the case. So at the end of The Rise of Skywalker, Sidious has this whole thing, Palpatine has this whole thing about how he wants to like fuse with Rey and that'll bring back like the Empire of the Sith. And I just had this moment where I was thinking like, oh, okay, so maybe his arc through the whole series, his plan this whole time was to do this thing that he's trying to do with Rey now, but he had just wanted to maybe do that with Anakin / Darth Vader in the first place. So run with me on this one. So going all the way back to sort of prehistory, imagine that Emperor Palpatine had, or his master, had created Anakin as a way to sort of channel dark side energy to create like the perfect, dark side vessel. And Palpatine's plan then was to do this sort of weird fusion possession thing that he's trying to do with the Rise of Skywalker with Darth Vader, but it doesn't work. Maybe Vader just ended up not being right. Maybe his path towards the dark side left him just imperfect. Maybe maybe they just didn't get to that point. Maybe they just didn't get far enough because of the fact that Luke shows up and the events of the original trilogy happen. But then on the side, since Palpatine is supposed to be this really amazing planner, he makes a backup plan where he has like an actual child who then has a child who is Rey, and that ends up being his way into doing his plan. Rey was the backup plan, so that's how we get this far in the future, and just now he is trying to do this fusion dance thing with Rey so that they can become the embodiment of the dark side or something. That's what I think that they might have been trying to go for at some point, and then it was cut because, and I get they probably would have cut that because it would have been a lot like to reveal right at the end of the movie, but like even as I'm trying to explain this, like what ended up happening in the movie is not very clear. What is the whole point of the whole dark side possession, feud, whatever it is, thing that he's trying to do with Rey at the end? We never really get a sense of what that is. So maybe if they had just explicitly established the reason why he's trying to do this is because he just needs a new body, I kind of got the impression that it was implied that he's trying to, combine with her to essentially live forever, in a way. and it would have tied the entire saga together to say that that was something he's been working on this whole time, you know. And it might have felt out of left field for some people, but because of the fact that we had those backstory theories about the creation of Anakin, it could have all connected. You know, we would have had this evidence of saying, well, you know, this is an explanation for that. This ties those two things together. Maybe it still wouldn't have solved all the problems with that movie. Maybe it wouldn't have been the perfectly, you know, it wouldn't have wrapped a nice bow basically on the whole saga. But it could have been just an extra little piece that would have maybe made a little bit more sense as to what was happening in that last scene, because I keep thinking about it, but I still think it's pretty confusing what exactly is supposed to be going on in that scene. And the fact that we have to go to all these outside sources and, you know, the interviews with people that worked on the film and then the books to find out what was going on in that scene and what Palpatine's plan were, you know, that's like a weakness to the film in my opinion. So this kind of thing is something that I had expected was going to happen. It didn't happen. I think it makes sense to have happened. So I don't know. Let me know what you think. If you think that this theory is totally bonkers, let me know. If you think I was onto something here, let me know. If you have your own theory for what may have been cut from this film, there's a lot of things that were clearly cut from it. We can talk about that. But until then, this is going to be it for this episode of Much Monday. Please remember to like this video if you liked it. Continue to leave me comments and feedback. And subscribe to the channel so you can make sure to catch the next episode next Monday when it comes out. Until then, thanks for watching this one.